While this is a third person, enlighten me if there's a chance you want first person and let me know who you want. Let's get started. The infected groaned and screamed from outside. Some screamed like banshees. Some cried like lost children. Preston held onto his throwing knives tightly, standing on the balcony. One bad lean onto the balcony and the railing would fall. The east side was unavailable since Lucia and Troy were repairing it. Hansika was on the roof to monitor the east. She was being careful, unlike before. But hey, it's an infection, oh, carefulness is important. Harvey came out kicking over Lucia's hammer. This looks like shit. Harvey snaps. Troy's eye twitched. Excuse me, Lucia asked. Can you fix it? It doesn't have to be this hideous. Harvey growled. Alexia came out, wearing a whole new outfit from essentially 5 minutes ago. Her hair was rumpled, and there were some of Alesha's iconic red lipstick stains on her collarbones. What's going on out here? Alexia asked. It really wasn't a question. She knew Harvey was being an ass. Are those Alesha's lipstick stains? Harvey asked, disgusted. Yeah, what about it? Alexia asked, raising an eyebrow. Fucking disgusting whores, you should save yourself for a man, Harvey growled. Hansika knocked over a paint can and it spilled all over Harvey. She whistled like she didn't just do anything. Troy snickered. No one likes how homophobic Harvey was. Harvey threw a fit and stormed inside. You are like our guard dog, essentially, Hansika, Lucia giggled. Hansika just nodded and went back to focus. She didn't notice the rosy blush that came onto Preston's face when he saw her take control. Hey, patrol is over, meet in the lunch hall, Alesha yelled. Soon everyone went to the lunchroom. So, just for fun, what's your guys' sexualities? I'm a lesbian, Alexia asked. They all thought about it for a second. I'm bisexual, Hansika spoke, stabbing into her rice. I'm omnisexual, Preston said. What's what? Lucia asked. I'm attracted to everyone but have more of a preference for women, Preston replied. Lucia spoke next. I'm straight but do like to dip into the women sometimes, Lucia admitted. I'm Irish, Troy said passionately. They all paused. Troy, honey, a sexuality means you are romantically attracted to someone, not your ethnicity, Hansika said, letting out a rare chuckle. Troy blinked like this was new. Oh, I'm Lucia sexuality, he said. Just as an author's note, Troy and Lucia are dating. Alesha spoke up. Lesbian, for sure. I love everything about girls. Troy innocently spoke up. What about them? Alesha smirked. The tits, ass, vagina, everything, especially when she was cut off when Lucia threw a roll at her before she got too graphic with how much she likes the sex. Troy was blushing so hard, he rivaled a tomato. Well, I have research to do. It was nice eating with you all, Hansika said, getting up and stretching from her back pains. As she climbed, her hand brushed over the specific stick in her pocket. POV change. Hansika, first person, her notes. The infected were louder today, but I saw something today. The children who were infected showed to be more asymptomatic. They get less likely to be like this the older they are. Teenagers that were infected seem more hostile and confused. They make sounds of crying or sobbing. They must be partially conscious, feeling the pain of their mutations. Unfortunately, we are dealing with a stalker. A stalker is an infected with claws half the size of a human, claws like spears, teeth like daggers, glowing red eyes, sunken eyes, goat-like horns, and animal-like legs. They'd be perfect in a horror movie. They run at 29 miles per hour. They have one bad weakness, sunlight. Thankfully, it can't get into this. We have barbed wire, patrol, weapons, and an underground passage. I've noticed an infected that was tied up. It won't go after you unless you are close enough to touch it. The rope extends 2 feet. It just groans and moans and cries. I feel pity for it. At some point, we want to put her down to give her relief from the pain. I've seen an infected give birth earlier. It wasn't hostile and looked like a clone of the mother that birthed it. Unfortunately, it was trampled, so it's dead. POV change, third person, middle of the nighttime skip. Hansika tossed and turned that night. The sounds of infected kept her up. Her hand wandered to her pocket. She held the stick, holding it tight. She held back a small sob, holding herself. Just then, she felt a hand gently rest on her shoulder. She looked up and saw Preston, his yellow eyes peeking out from his blonde bangs. You okay? He quietly asked. She let down her walls enough to shake her head. Preston moved next to her on the bed. Come here, I've been told my chubbiness makes me pretty comfortable, he softly joked. She practically fell into his arms and hugged him close. He was right, the chubby baby fat he still has near his torso made him softer, like a teddy bear. She silently sobbed into his shoulder. He rubbed her back and mumbled sweet nothings into her hair. Alexia peeked down. Since she was mostly upside down, her hair stuck down. Hey, everything okay? She whispered. Preston shooed her and mouthed that he didn't want Hansika to feel embarrassed that more than one person saw her crying. Alexia nodded and returned to laying on her bed. Hansika fell asleep, gripping him tightly. Preston got a rosy blush and mumbled, "Don't worry, I got you. I'll be here when you wake up." Troy subtly smirked and got a picture, loving this moment of softness. Time skip, morning time. When Lucia woke up, she was met with the most adorable sight. In the bottom bunk, Preston held Hansika in his lap while she held him tight. They were both sound asleep. Preston had his arms protectively around her. A blanket was draped over them. Lucia snuck down and woke Troy so he could get a picture. Troy sleepily woke up and saw the scene of those two. A grin came onto his face. He quickly snapped a picture. Alessia spoke up. "We should call them Prensica," she whispered. "Why that?" Alexia asked quietly. "It's a combo of Preston and Hansika, duh," Alessia replied. Harvey came in and woke up the duo who were sleeping so cutely. "Can we wake the fuck up? I need the fat little bitch to cook," Harvey snapped. That annoyed everyone since he called Preston, the absolute golden retriever boy, a fat little bitch. I'm up," Preston mumbled. He gently pulled Hansika off him and placed her on the bed. She mumbled protests but was too sleepy. "Remember, Troy and Alexia are going on a supply run later," Harvey reminded. "Another time skip because the tea Troy and Alexia have is important. You know, I think in a relationship, Hansika pegs the men," Troy stated. Alexia nodded in agreement. "Preston is too sweet to be a top," she said, nodding in agreement with him. "But I saw something," Alexia spoke. Troy straightened, sensing it was important. "Hansika is pregnant." Troy stopped for a second. "What?" Alexia fiddled with her backpack. "I was taking notes since I used to be a medic student. I saw the signs. Missed period, tender breasts, nausea, fatigue, pissing a lot, light spotting, cramping, food cravings, food aversions, headaches, backaches, mood swings, and constipation. All those signs show pregnancy, but before I jumped to anything, I waited. I saw her pull out a pregnancy test." They walked silently for a minute, letting it settle in them. "Get baby materials, but not a lot to make it obvious. This isn't going to be easy for her to do alone," Troy said. Alexia nodded. "Well, time for the tea," Alexia grinned. "Is it really true you hooked up with Alessia?" Troy asked. Alexia bit her lip and blushed. "Yeah, we did." Troy then went quiet. "How do girls have sex?" he asked. Alexia blushed. "Ask your girlfriend." Troy blinked innocently and just nodded. Just then, an infected screamed at them. Troy and Alexia printed. Just then, they heard the worst sound at this time. The stalker. They ran for dear life. At least they got into a cramped area so it couldn't reach them. "When is it leaving?" Alexia muttered. Troy held her sleeve. "Where's Lucia when you need her?" he mumbled. "Now's not the time to yearn for your girlfriend," Alexia muttered. "I can't help it," Troy whimpered. The stalker ran past, finally leaving. They ran to the market. They made a barrage with shopping carts and got supplies. Troy got a small pack of diapers and Alexia got a breast pump. "Get lotion, Bobbies get a lot of diaper rashes," Troy said as he loaded his bag with food. Alexia nodded. "How do you think Harvey would react?" Alexia worried. Troy tensed, not having thought of that. He went pale. "Shit," he muttered. Alexia paused in shock. This was the first time she's ever heard Troy swear.